Hi viewers and welcome to the channel and welcome to Build Log video 3. So in the first video we introduced the project and it's a medical calf support. In the previous video, video 2, we looked at the techniques we're going to use to create this. That was in the Curves Workbench and the sketch on Curve. And some of the caveats that we come across, the issues and how to fix them. And how we're going to tackle the project and what workflow we're going to use. This video we're going to start planning out this as a planner image ready to wrap around the object. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the site. I also have a Ko-Fi or a coffee site that you can donate to if you so desire, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. I also run a Patreon where you can subscribe and get extra content, and that's at www.patreon.com/MangoJellySolutions. Any money that's kindly donated will be used to expand the channel. So first of all, let's have a look at some of the dimensions. So we've got 9, 9 and 5, which is 23 centimeters high. And also we've got a radius that goes along here. Now the 18.5 is length as in planner face. So we need to change that to a circumference, and so it will come around here. So this is going to be placed on the object to allow the customer to actually change the dimensions. So we're going to build it that way so it can be easily changed. Maybe even link it up to a spreadsheet. So let's start getting some of these dimensions in here. So first of all, let's come over to FreeCAD, and we're in the sketcher. We're going to create along the XY plane, we're going to start to create the actual half a cylinder. So I'm going to use an arc in here like so, and we'll join up these two and set the radius. Let's click to select that and delete. Now with the radius we don't need to use any calculator because FreeCAD will do it for us using the formula. And if we go back and have a look, we've got a radius 18.5 divided by 2 times pi. So that's come into here. 18 point, so we can type in here 18.5, which is centimeters, so it's 850 millimeters, divided by, in brackets, pi times 2. Close the brackets, 29.44. Actually, this is a circumference, isn't it? So 18.5 or 185 millimeters is the planner. .5, so that's got to be circumference around there. So I think it's 2 times that one. Let's go back. We can change this later, so got the option of changing this 2 times. There we go. And okay, let's okay that. So we've got that there. What I'm going to do is just up click that and name. Call this calf diameter. What that allows me to do, if I close, we can click on the sketch, come down to the constraints, and we've got the calf diameter there, so we can change that by clicking on the end and changing it in here rather than going into the sketch. So that's a nice little tip there. So we have that. Let's put some height on here, which is 23 over in the part. So this gives us our basic base feature. 23 centimeter or 230 millimeters. And we've got that there. If the dimensions are wrong, we can easily change those. So we've got our base dimensions there. We should, if I click on here, we've got the geo information on. So this is the Curves Workbench at the top. And we've got this icon set on. So just activate that. And we can click on a curve. That's 185 millimeters. So we can look at that on the sketch. Well, we don't have to look at that on the sketch. We can look at that on this one, 185 millimeters there, and 18.5 centimeters. So that looks about right. Got the height, and I think we're all set to go. So what I'm going to do is we're on the curves workbench. We're going to look at this face. We'll click that face and extract it out and sketch on surface. So now we've got 185, 230, and we've got some odd dimensions in here that set it away from this point, which we don't need, which I'm going to remove. And we now will place that point on that point and hit close. So we've got the map sketch there, and we'll hit close. That's it. So we've got our sketch there. Let's just hide the extrude. Now we can start sketching in this. Let's just shrink this down a bit and bring this out. So we're going to get our base in there. We're going to put a line construction geometry along here, and looking at this, I'm going to put 2 lines for where this curve is there, because we can make this curve tangent to a line that runs along here, and we've got some dimensions here of 5 centimeters. So we place 2 lines. All these are going to be construction. And these, those 2 there, stick a height of 90 millimeters, and this one as well. $90mm, and so this one here should be 5. It's going to go into error, or 50mm, so 5 centimeter, but we can click reference there, which means that will turn it to blue. Look behind, we can see it as blue. So you've just got a reference of basically that height. Those have gone green for the constrained, and we want to take this point, and make sure that this point is symmetrical. We're over constrained now. Click to select and delete, and now we've fully constrained those. Those need to be construction geometry, because if I hit close, you can see we've got those in there. So I'm going to take those and control click them. We've got all those selected. Well, I don't have to control click them, just select them. Change those to construction. Now we've got something to go on. I'm just going to be sketching in this section over on the right hand side. Let's just pull these out of the way. I could keep all my dimensions actually to the right and then sketch in the left. So now we've got the construction geometry down, we can start sketching in here using the planner view. So the first one we're looking for is anything inside this boundary. So that's zoom in. And I'm going to work from the bottom up. So we're looking for lines in here. So this line here is 2 centimeters that goes along here, and then have a curvature up to the 9 centimeter or 20 millimeters. So those are in place. I'm going to use an endpoint and rim point because I'm going to attach it to this line and bring it around, and we're going to make this point tangent to this line as well. Let's do a tangency across those. So that's nice and curved. Therefore I can use either a B-spline or another arc to connect up here. So I'm not sure if this arc actually curves and touches this line, or if this line is necessary there. Let's have a look. Might not be a straight line, so this curvature comes around. So I'm going to curve around. So I'm going to get rid of that actually, and just put a point on there. That's 2 centimeters away. So this point and this point are 2 centimeters away. So 20 millimeters. Do a curve, goes around here, and just have it just above. Put those in line, and we can alter that to allow us to create a nice curve between these. Now, for the curve, these 2 points, And we could use a curve in here, like so. That tangency, and the same with these two. Tangency against those, and make sure that these points connect. And OK that. So we've got our first curve in there. And we can change these to get it into place. May want to use a B-spline in here. I'm not quite sure if this curve will be sufficient for this. Bring this up to about there. So that's our first curve. And now we can do the same for the top. Now we're going to have some curvature in here. So we can use the endpoint and rim point, bring this around, and just bring this out. Make sure I'm not touching any of these lines because they will create a tangency constraint. You can see the auto constraints are kicking in. So we'll bring this around like so. I'm going to put some length across these, about 40 millimeters away. And we're going to close this sketch up by placing some lines in, connecting these points, and delete that constraint there, and close this one up. So we should have a closed sketch there. Let's hit close and just have a look at that sketch on the surface and see what we got. There's the extrude, and that's taking shape now. So we've got that. What I want to do is come in and basically lock this down. So that's had a radius of 150, and we can name these so they appear on the sketch from when we go in to click on the tree view. So this is side radius, but we've got some named in here, so if I wanted to, I can come in to close, come down to the constraints, and you can see there's a number of unnamed constraints in there, and there are a few named ones as well. The more we name, the more we can come in and change. So we did have the calf geometry on this sketch as well. Constraint, calf diameter, and those ones. So anything that we haven't named will be popped into unnamed. The ones we have will be sitting outside, and we can change this. So side radius, so we change this to 140. You can see how that's changing there. So we can have control over that. So that's one side done. Let's go back into that sketch, and we're going to start adding these here. So we're looking at our holes, which are 3mm holes, which are look like they're right on that border there. Got some dimensions here. So this one starts 2 centimeters away and on that line going across here. So going across here, so 2 centimeters away from the edge and on that line, and 1 centimeter away from the top. So that's add the points. This is where the points come in handy. So one on there and one on there. So this one is 10 away, and this one 20 mil. I'm going to take that point and place it on here as well. So point on line constraint, so there's double point on line constraint there. That stops that from moving. And we've got to decide how far away this one's going to be. let's place it on this side from this point. About 15 millimeters there. And connect those. Place those in line. So we've got that there. And that needs to be in line with that one as well. Place that in line. Let's make sure those two have equal radius, and we'll set a radius against those as well. It's going to be some undefined radius against those. Let's go for 75 and hit escape and just move this radius out of the way. That locks that fully down then. It's over here. Let's hit close. Let's add the ears that come down here. So for that, I'm going to go back to the extrude and have a look. So we're going to create another face that sits on the bottom. So double click on the sketch. Now to do that, these ears are 30 millimeters long that run down here. So we need to use an arc. Place the arc in. This is so we can sketch upon that face using the curve on face tool and connect all these up together. And we'll make tangency across here. Okay, that, and tangency across this one as well. Okay, that. We've got this here, which is this arc, and this one is this arc. You can see those moving. So we need a line that goes across here. Connects those up. Now let's pull this out so it's almost straight, and the same this side, and set the height 30 millimeters. This can still move at the moment, so we can still pull this out, and this one. Set the radius on this one. So that's quite far out at the moment, 1158. Gives that an almost straight radius. And make those two equal. And we have that. This now has to change to construction mode. Otherwise we're going to get an error. So that is in there now. Now looking, yeah, I've got a line there, that's good. Now we've got to follow this onto here. So we need the curvature that comes down here. I am looking at this up here because this comes down straight. So I put a straight line in here. We go down and we curve around. So let's add a face. Sorry, sketch on that face there. So sketch on the curve surface. That's added that sketch on there. Double click it. We should see. Let's bring this back to 0 just to get it back. And go out to the model, hide the extrusion. Let's get rid of that one. And this one. And take this point and place it upon there. There we go. So that's all done. So there's our 30 millimeters and our 230. So I'm going to use the line. So we need 4 in there and a 4 in here. Hit escape. Remove the redundant, and we've got another one. So those two are removed. Set length. 40. Close that. We can see those are in line there. Look at this, we're tapering down, so we've got to swap these. Let's come in. Look at that sketch. what I'm going to do, I was going to delete these, but we'll just swap the U and V. So we need another line in here. And delete that one. That line is 3 centimeters. $30mm. Now let's add the curves to this. So let's place the straight and delete that one, and a curve from here to here, and just place a bit of curve in there. I'll attach that one to that line, point and line constraints, and we'll set the radius. $45 on the radius. So that's that one. Let's have a look, see what that looks like. So we need to swap that. So the sketch on surface, let's come down to the reverse U, set that to true. There we go. So that's true there. And that's added that one in there. Let's do it on the other side as well. This one I believe is 3mm. So 30mm, sorry, 3 centimeters, 30mm, and add the curvature to there. Set radius of 15. Let's see what that looks like. So that's looking good. It's much more shallower, so let's have a look. Something like that. That's better. Now we need to add the holes and slots. So this is about 3mm, so that is this one here. It's 2 centimeters. 1 centimeter. It looks like it's right on the border virtually. We could add, well, still using a circle, we could add a circle in here. Make this 3mm. We've got this line that goes through, and we've got a lot of geometry, or a lot of constraints that are hiding that. Make sure that's 1 centimeter away. 10mm, and we need to come in and do the same in here, so let's trim in there. Now hit close, and we've got this here, and we can do this on the other side as well, so we get half a circle on each side. So for instance, we can come in here and have a look where that's going to sit. Maybe it's on this side. And there we've got that circle there. So when we go into this sketch, fill faces and true, we've got a hole that runs through there. I think we're almost there. So the last thing we need is this slot that's running at 10 degrees. And this one 2mm. Say 20mm there. So that's in there. That can be moved and task close. So we're all basically there. If we missed anything, we've got some angle on here which can be adjusted. There is some curvature on these lines which we could come in and use the fillet, but preserve in sketch fillet, and just fillet those two like so. So we create some fillets along there. I'm just going to leave those as is, and I'm going to bring this extrude back and just check on these. So we're going to check this arc here with the geom information. So check that arc. 185 is what we had before, and we'll check this length of 30, and this should be a length of 10, and this one should be a length of 30. So we've got all our lengths in there correct, and this is fine. So let's hide that extrude. Let's add some whips on here. So let's change the thickness. Let's go to the offset. Let's find out what they want. 0.5 centimeters. So going down to the thickness, 5mm thickness, offset of minus 4.99. So we'll look at that length there, and that length there. That's the length we want. It's 10 still, which is good. And that's changed this one. So this sketch on surface, gain offset minus 4.99, and a thickness of 5. And we'll check length 10. All these are good. So this one here, length 30, and last of all this one, length 50. So that is all ready to go. Last thing is to come over to the part workbench, union these together. So control click both of those, make a union. Let's create a fusion, and then we can create the mirror, and we want to mirror over YZ plane. Okay, that's mirrored over there, and we can take those two, control click them, and make a union of those shapes. So that is connected together. We've got some refinement on there. Let's set that to true. That will get rid of that line, and we're there. So that is the finished product. Click on the fusion, come down to the view, draw style deviation. Let's see this in a bit more higher detail, 0.1, and that's looking good. So they can be edited quite easily. One thing you can do is actually create a spreadsheet for this, so a spreadsheet version to allow for that to be edited much more easier. And that's the final shape. What I'll do now is just send this off to the customer or to the viewer and get some feedback on it and see if they want anything changed on there, and carry on with the spreadsheet version, so I'll have another version in there. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the site. I also have a Ko-Fi or a coffee site that you can donate to if you so desire, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. I also run a Patreon where you can subscribe and get extra content, and that's at www.patreon.com/MangoJellySolutions. Any money that's kindly donated will be used to expand the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you again soon.